Hello, my name is Jan Sanchez, and I'm going to be talking about climate change and how it affects the air quality in urban areas. Air quality is very important for everybody living on this planet, so it's important to take this into consideration. But before I talk about air quality, I must talk about how the air gets worse. And to start off by talking about that, we're going to be talking about climate change and how it affects the air pollution in our cities. This is one of the main issues that's contributing to this. Advancing on to slide number 3, whether you live in a rural town or a big city, like how many of us live, climate change is something that's going to affect you no matter what, and no matter where you live, in every way you might think so. Here pictured is an arid desert. One may think this is a normal scene for a desert, but even that can get affected. Climate change causes more droughts, which eventually causes more drying out of deserts and can cause fires due to the climate. Climate change is brought on by ourselves. Many of our advances bringing ourselves into the modern world have added to climate change. Manufactories, which power our homes and help build our cities and cars, have added to the air pollution issue. Factories before were very dirty and would pollute the air around them. Not many people would pay attention to this, since not many people were aware of the cause and the effect that air pollution was having on us. But things began to change in the future. Another major climate change cause in our city are cars. We use them every day. It's not something that we might not be able to use, but it's something that we depend on in our daily lives in order to get around and in order to make our lives easier. Even our public transportation, although less polluting, can still pollute and add to our overall air quality. To avoid air polluting, we should use the metro, which runs on electricity. This is a very common sight in many cities, where gridlock traps cars for many hours inside the city, spewing tons and tons and tons of carbon monoxide right at our doorsteps, and we just continue to breathe that in. Maybe laws like this can help lower the carbon monoxide footprint in our cities, especially the ones that are more densely packed. But maybe this might not always be effective because a lot of people still need their vehicles in order to get around. Images like this are very common in China, where the smog released by cars can be so heavy at times that it looks like it's fog covering the city and not just pollution being emitted by our vehicles. This makes driving even more dangerous. In this chart, you can see the level of pollution in Beijing compared to Los Angeles. Levels are much higher than those of Los Angeles here, probably due to our more stricter EPA ratings of our vehicles, which leads to our better air quality overall. Air pollution not only causes respiratory diseases, but it can be the cause of heart conditions. It can lead to stroke. It can lead to a lot of diseases that we might not even know that air pollution contributes to it. Although this may be a cartoon, this is a pretty good interpretation of how we might end up in our future if we keep eliminating what's filtering our air and cutting down our forests. This might soon be a very realistic picture, not literally, but this is a good representation. It's not just in China and us that are affected. Pictured here is a man from London, which London at times has smog levels higher than those in Beijing. London has been having increased levels of pollution, even if it's not one of the major cities that contributes. Pictured are some of the effects that pollution can have on our body. Many of the pollutions come from all over: the air we breathe, our water that we drink, and our food. But air adds to our highest dosage of pollutants in our body. One solution that we can have in our cities for air pollution is to use hybrid cars, which are gas electric. The electric part aids the gas engine to not always have to be on. That way it lowers the smog levels being released by the car. Although buses do pollute, they take cars off the road, which eventually that does aid in lowering the pollution levels in our cities. Public transportation improvements are only going to make it better for us to be able to breathe and feel better about ourselves living in the city. The best and cleanest way of commuting in our cities are bicycles. They not only improve our health, but they also eliminate carbon completely from our air. Cities should improve commuting by bicycles in order to incentivize people to do so. But ultimately, the only way to completely eliminate air polluting is to live greenly. The use of technology that we have in our world can greatly lower the amount of air pollutant that we have.